All right, within the first few hours of his presidency, President Trump signed an executive order that would end birthright citizenship to newborn babies if one or both of their parents are not here legally in the U.S.
Yeah, the order was followed by a slew of lawsuits, and today the Supreme Court is hearing arguments on this case that could really play a big role in the future of birthright citizenship.
Yeah, so joining us to explain what's at stake here is defense attorney Josh Kolsrud. So, Josh, good morning. This is it's going to be a big deal, isn't it?
It's a huge deal. I'll tell you why. So, birthright citizenship has been really the law of the land for the last 125 years. And what that means is that if you are here in the United States and you have a baby, that baby becomes a United States citizen. So if the Supreme Court rules that that's no longer the case, you're literally going to have millions of Americans who really become stateless. They don't have a country. So the stakes in this case are like huge, magnanimous.
This case also brings to light the power of, judicial overreach versus now what could happen of presidential power, depending on what the ruling is.
That's a good point. So this case is not only going to focus on birthright citizenship. Chief Justice John Roberts has already indicated that he's going to address whether or not individual district court judges have the power to stop a president from enforcing executive orders. For example, in this case, you have a district court judge in Seattle who issued an injunction against the executive order, thereby making all of the enforcement of the immigration laws of that executive order null and void, meaning that it can't enforce it. So, but Justice John Roberts kind of indicated that, an individual district court judge may not have the authority to stop the enforcement for the entire nation of enforcing immigration laws. So you do have that. And then finally, the Supreme Court is going to have to decide whether or not a president has the authority to really define the terms of the 14th Amendment by himself. Because traditionally, and according to Article 1 of the Constitution, that is the province of Congress. So there are three major issues that the birthright citizenship is going to be decided on.
Speaking of judicial overreach, does it happen more against President Trump, or does it just seem like that?
No, it does. It's unprecedented how many district court judges have issued injunctions against the executive orders. We've never seen anything quite like it in this nation's history. Virtually all of President Trump's executive orders have been challenged and stopped by a district court judge. So the Supreme Court is going to have to rule whether or not there's judicial overreach in stopping a president from enacting his policies.
You think it'll take quite a while for the Supreme Court to get through this?
It will, but they'll get to it, and we'll probably have a decision by the end of the summer.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's usually that's what they do. End of June, early July is when we get their decision. So
exactly.
All right, Josh.
Josh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Great talking to you.
And we'll, of course, keep everybody posted on when a decision comes down.